a bit, you should do a video about cooking, which is what I'm doing today. Mum, who's not well, said, can you make us some soup, some of that chicken soup you make, you know, the light broth. And I said, sure, I can do that. So went to a supermarket, and I think one of the signs of being a good cook is resourcefulness and creativity. So I saw a special offer, some pork shoulder steaks, looking a bit damp actually. So I put it in the cardboard tray and I took it to the till, and I said to the guy, I said, oh look, that one's a bit damp. He says, you know what, we'd have chucked that out. Do you want it? Do you just want to take it? I won't scan it. So I said, yeah, sure. So I want to say that's frying in lard at the moment, but as you can see there's a lot of juice. That's okay, that's going to make a nice meaty broth. So that has got to brown for a bit longer. So just pause it there, pause. Resume recording, there we go. And as you can see here, we have onions. And you may notice that, oh, your chopping's not that fine. That's because I'm using this. Look at that, there. See that? And it's not as sharp as what it could be, but at the same time it don't really matter. Now if I was making a bacon and onion butty, oh god, yeah, mouth's watering at the thought, but I don't have any bacon. I would not use this knife, I would use my other knife. This is my other knife, and it is sharp with a capital F or a capital down 999. I've just suffered some major blood loss. That is great for finding. Now here's the thing, for ages this was about the extent of how fine I could chop an onion, and as you can see there against my finger, that's not very fine, and I can actually chop finer with that one, but point being is with this one I can slice so much finer. Can I do it single-handed even? Now these are already chopped up, so that's just gonna, it's just gonna fall away. Let's put something on its side. Now here's the thing, this is sharp and it's got a single bevel. I only sharpened one side of this knife and it just chops so finely. Really good. It's carbone, as you can see, which is another way of saying high carbon steel. It's not inoxidable or stainless, and much easier to sharpen that than it is to sharpen that. So I can see steam coming out of the pot, but I don't really hear sounds of cooking. I got that. I have some beansprouts, which was what, 67 pence. These onions were 54. I bought some salad, which was about 30% off, and I got Swiss chard and beetroot in the salad, as well as some rocket, and rocket's got a nice peppery taste. So the thing is, people put spinach in soups all the time. Well, in my case, I'm using chard and beetroot and rocket, which is a more expensive spinach. And personally, I think a nicer spinach as well. I don't particularly like salad, unless my grandfather makes them, because he's good at making salad. But I do like greens in, what do you call it? Soup, that's right. So let's boil up some water. Alright, we're back here. So let's have a look. Oh, it smells good. Now, all that's in there is meat and lard. And oh look, feet. I'm not sure why that amuses me. It's just like, Hobbit's wearing footwear. He's not a real hobbit. Rah. That is actually quite hot now, and if you can judge by how much that is steaming up, there is a lot of moisture to be got rid of. So I would like to see a little bit of browning on that before I start adding more things, because when I add... is it time to add the onions yet? You know what, I'm going to risk it. So you missed out the action of me adding onions to a pot, but I'm sure you can use your imagination to see how that looked. No cameraman, just myself. So let's give it a stir so that we don't have anything stick to the bottom. I know, I use electric, I don't have gas, there's no gas to my house. I like gas, it cooks better than electric. I remember when I was in a friend's flat in Bethnal Green, that was it, and he had a gas stove, and oh yeah, we made a lovely beef stew. As a student digs, we just used as pots and pans. We had too much stew for one pot, so we put some in the other. He said, how much seasoning should I add? And I said, as much as you think fits. He put a lot of pepper in his. And I said, well, that's okay. I made mine kind of bland because I always like to add salt and pepper to my meal after I've cooked it. So he mixed his with ours and ended up with a very spicy stew. And he says that was the best meal he had in absolutely years. He didn't know how to cook. He used to make paninis. And I said, I will teach you how to cook. We're going to make a stew. And he says, stew? Oh, but stew's really complicated. And I said, oh yes. And by the end of it, you'll be a man who can make stew. Yes. I'm not sure what the difference between stew and soup is. I think it's the amount of water that you put in, which I'm not going to put in just yet because I want this to fry. I don't want it to boil. And I know some people say, don't boil it. Yeah. So the next part of this, of course, is the two ingredients every cook should have. Pepper, salt, pepper, salt. And with the magic of me pressing the pause button, I end up with both hands free to hold the mortar in one hand and pestle on the other. And really get in there. Really get in there. That's it. But you don't have to do that. In fact, you should not do that because you may crack things. You just do that. And you'd think, oh, but if I do this, nothing happens. And then suddenly, as if by magic, the grains of salt, the corns of pepper, they start to crack. And then they crumble. And then they turn into fine powder. And you'd be saying, oh, that's a lot of salt, Hobbit. Yeah, but considering I'm going to put more than a quart of water in there, it needs it. Because otherwise it's going to be a bland soup. The vapours coming off of this are very hot, to the point where it's, you do not want to do that. And the onions are soft, but I have a theory that if I add salt and pepper to this, the salt will help the molecular breakdown of the cell structure, which to you and I means that it will cook faster. Because a lot of cooking is just breaking down cell walls, starches, proteins into something smaller, simpler, easier to digest. And that's how we unlock more nutritional value and more calorific value from our food. I imagine I'll be getting some raw food advocates writing in saying, you're actually wrong. Well, go and drink some raw piss then. So, focus through the vapours, add salt and pepper. Oh, smell-o-vision, that's going to make me sneeze. Oh God, oh, those fumes. Oh. Already I'd be quite happy eating this if I put some in a sandwich. Pork and onion. Some people would say there are better things than pork and onion, but they're wrong. Simple as. There ain't no better than pork and onion. Now, if I had the budget and if I had a cameraman, I'd be like, could you play the mandolin for me? Or at least the accordion or something. We shall add the mushrooms dropping for the glory of the Lord. Oh, God, give us this day our daily bread, even if it happens to be the form of a stew. Video size limit almost reached. Capture will soon end. Well, I'm going to stop it there then and figure out what's wrong. Toodle pip.